We just spent some time talking with Dr. Royer of Neurcore and the work that he does with children with ADHD.
Now we're going to meet one of the patients. 10-year-old Jace came in and his mom, Natalie. Thank you so much for coming into our studio today. Natalie, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your experience with Jace?
Jace is a normal 10-year-old boy, and when he was probably getting closer to school age, we just noticed that he was having a little bit harder time focusing at school and just had some anxiety, and we just wondered about that, and and then we had heard about Neurcore and through family members that had seen some good results. So we brought him in and had them take a look at his brain.
So Dr. Royer, take us through the diagnosis that would have happened if they had brought their son into a traditional kind of a diagnostic situation with maybe a pediatrician compared to what you do at Neurcore.
Exactly. Well, one, there wouldn't be all this equipment here, okay? And it would probably start with something like asking Natalie a few questions. Is Jace having a hard time focusing? Is he completing tasks? Maybe not. Restless? And what would happen is if she, in about less than 7 minutes, I'd ask her questions, maybe 10 questions, and if she answers a certain percentage of those, she needs to answer at least 6 of those yes, then all of a sudden we're going to diagnose him with a brain-based disorder based on her answering those 6 questions. Many times the child doesn't even interact. It's just asking some questions, and again, like we said earlier, these are questions that there could be thousands of reasons why she's answering yes, but she's just working with the system and saying yes. And so then what happens, what gets more alarming is what happens next, okay? So give the diagnosis of ADHD. Now, in less than 10 minutes, she's going to walk out the door with a prescription for a controlled substance that is going to change the chemistry in Jace's brain for the rest of his life. We don't even know what that medicine's going to do to his brain long term. And there's going to be no exit strategy, and we just asked some questions. This happens to the tune of 10 million children in the United States, and 60% of them don't even have the diagnosis.
As a parent, that absolutely terrifies me, and that's happening, and that could happen to my own child. You made mention of this equipment, and this is really a tool, all of this, to help you with the diagnosis. Can you explain how?
Yeah. Well, I am concerned about the behaviors and about Jace doing well in school. I'm not, and I will ask those questions. But as a neuroscientist, I want to see what's going on in Jace's brain.
So he's hooked up to this computer. Are we going to be able to see his brain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shall we do it?
Yes.
Yeah. You just attached some devices to his ears?
Yeah.
That's it?
And Jace, they don't bother you. Do they hurt at all or anything? No? Okay. And so he's got, the ears act as a ground because we don't have any electricity in our ears. And what we want to do is we want to read the electrical current. This is called an EEG, or an electroencephalogram, which you would have at any hospital, okay? But we have a small version that's mobile. We can use this in schools, in people's homes, in our offices. And so we're going to take the EEG. There's no electrical current in the ear, so that acts as a ground, okay? And then the blue lead is we're going to measure the electrical current on the right side of his brain, okay?
Yep.
Now, when we come to the office, we would measure multiple sites, but just for the purpose of the day, let's see what's going on in Jace's brain.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to go up here, and all of a sudden, what you're looking at right here, this absolute wonderful tapestry of electrical current, is Jace's brain live and in color. And what's amazing is from the beginning of time until the end of time, there will never be a brain that looks exactly like this. Let me show you how intricate this equipment is. Jace, why don't you just bite down really hard for me for a second?
Oh, wow.
And then back off, okay? Don't bite one more time for us, and we see just, look at that. Okay, and then back down, okay? Well, what we want to do is we want to see what's in there. The idea that I can figure that out by just asking Jace's mom a few questions is ridiculous, okay?
Yeah.
I can't see that by just asking a few questions, and I need to know this before I put a chemical in there that's going to change, absolutely alter the configuration of this, because there's things in here that are very important, For example, this number right here at the University of Vanderbilt in the early 1980s, they discovered that if this number is greater than 30, the person has an attention problem. The average person in our population is about a 2-3. And guess what? In the area of attention, Jace's attention is just like everybody else.
So he's fine.
He does not have ADHD.
Wow, that's incredible. You know, we've just scratched the surface here, Dr. Royer.
Yeah.
I know that you are making this so easy for people who want to have their children evaluated by offering a special, typically an assessment in your office where you hook them up and do the whole assessment of the entire brain. Costs $250. But for today, if you call and say you saw this on 8 West, you're offering this for $60.
$60. Look at your child's brain or look at your own brain for $60. We are passionate about you understanding how your brain works.
Wow, that is amazing. And I have to think, as a parent, Natalie, is this peace of mind to be able to see something like this? And how do you feel about, you know, your experience? You've worked 3 years with Neurcore?
Yes, we have. We love it. It's easy for our kids when they get to go in and do their assessments. They feel better afterwards. They get to watch a movie is how they get to do it, so they don't mind that at all either, and it's convenient for us, and it's obviously a much better option than medicating your child.
Well, it is really great, Dr. Roy. You have offices all over the place, including one even in Orlando, Florida, and I know people watch us online, so definitely head to their website, theneurocore.com. We're so happy that you are our expert in this field. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah. And thanks, Jace. We appreciate it.
Thanks for missing school to be on 8 West today.
Good job.
Thanks, Natalie, Dr. Royer.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.